Planking, not always considered the most exciting exercise, probably one of the more challenging ones as well. It's a very, very good way to stabilise and to restore strength into the lower back, into the gluteal regions, and into some of those most hard to reach areas of the core muscle group. There's all manner of different reasons when it comes into play, from bad and profound lower back injuries, from disc prolapse to even post-surgery at appropriate times, to just more a sense of weakness in the back. Perhaps you've not been as busy and as active as you might have otherwise been. It's also, once again, considering it at the right time, postpartum or after giving birth, it can once again really get into some of those muscles that have been really challenged during the latter stages and during giving birth, and how planking can really restore some of that strength again. There's lots and lots of different types of planking. We're just going to start with the basic fundamental principle of the most regular planking. There are two variations you can do. You can do a low plank and a high plank. I'm going to show you the low one principally. It is the same to go up into a high one. I'll just touch on it at the end, but the principle is exactly the same. What we're looking for here is quality. It's no good just holding a plank for ages if your form and everything drops and you slouch, because you'll actually undo some of the good that you're aiming for. The idea really is that you want to be looking to try and hold a plank for about 30 seconds and then rest for 10 seconds and then do another 30-second hold, rest for 10 and a 30-second hold. Now, as you get into those, you might find that last hold is less because your form slips, because you've started to get tired. Just stop. There is no point in doing a plank badly. You may as well not do one at all. Come back to it the next day and just see if you can get closer and closer to those first landmarks. Once you're there and you're there and you're there well, you can then start to increase the time that you're holding each plank, but keep that resting time at about 10 seconds and you will feel the progress. So, the principle of the plank. Starting on your knees, you're going to get down onto your elbows, and your elbows are going to be sat underneath your shoulders, and then you're going to go up into what you might classify as a sort of typical push-up position, but from your elbows. So, on your knees, down onto your elbows, elbows underneath your shoulders, and then from that position you just lift your knees off, in this case the yoga mat, and you drive your legs to be nice and straight, and in this position you want to be in a lovely straight line all the way down from the back of the head towards the heels. And imagine that there was a bottle of water between your shoulder blades standing up and you're taking the lid off. You don't want it to be slumped and therefore spilling, or too arched, in which case it would roll off. You want to be nice and solid and in a straight line. This is your plank. What you can do is go up into a high plank, which is exactly the same idea, only instead of being on your elbows, you're on your hands. The principle is the same, it's just a slightly different take on it. I would suggest start onto your elbows. It just has a slightly different type of pressure through your shoulders, which just makes it a bit more doable, I find. You can by all means try the up plank whenever you've perhaps got a bit further into doing the lower plank. But get going with them. The form is much more important than just holding it for ages. Give yourself little breaks between. Aim for 20 to 30 seconds. Once you've hit those landmarks and hit them well, you can start to add time and keep that break at about 10 seconds.